Guys, and a very warm welcome back to my channel. So we are continuing with our video series on the bilateral issues of India, and from today we'll be starting about India Bangladesh relationship. So we are going to start this topic, and you guys are currently watching the UPSC preparation. This is a completely free preparation with a package of pre plus mains. Okay, and these videos will be completely free and regular, and we are having 1 year package where we are going to discuss all the topics of GS plus CSAT plus pre-mains both. So we will be discussing about answer writing, etc., essay writing, everything. We'll be having a complete package for completely free. All the packages that you buy for more than, around more than 2 lakhs, we are giving you it for free, and it is going to be complete in-depth discussion. You guys can watch for yourself, and please, only thing I'm asking you is to just like and subscribe to this channel. This is just what I want from you guys. This is what you guys can do for motivating me. So now let us start with our relation. I've already made a video on the relation of China, relationship between India and China. 2 parts are there for the video, and also I have already created the introductory videos on the foreign policies of India, so you guys can check that out. There are two videos basically on the foreign policy. Then we have discussed India China. Now we are discussing India Bangladesh. We will be discussing all the different kind of bilateral issues like India Pakistan, India Bangladesh, India China, India Nepal, okay, India Afghanistan, India Myanmar, India, Sri Lanka, all of the neighboring countries issue we are going to discuss. And from today we will be starting up with India Bangladesh relations. So now let's get started. Just don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and share these videos if you find them helpful with your friends who also may need them and who don't know about them. Just spread our videos. This is just what I am asking you. Okay, so before starting, let us look at the map. As I've already told you, I'll be doing all the things with map. So this is our India. This orange colored plus yellow colored including is India, okay, and here in the red color you guys can see Bangladesh. Okay, so this is Bangladesh, and it shares boundary, you guys can see here, around West Bengal, Meghalaya. Okay, Bangladesh share boundaries with India, and we'll be discussing about our relationships with Bangladesh. So now let's begin with our relations with Bangladesh. Okay, so first of all, let us talk about the very first topic, that is the creation of Bangladesh. How Bangladesh was created. Okay, creation of Bangladesh. And please mind my writing. I'm writing with a mouse. I'm not, so it is not going to be the best writing you can see. But of course, we are going to write all the important things so that you guys can visualize things. Okay, that's the only thing. Because if you guys can see my earlier videos, it was just auditory, but I think there is a need for visual aid also. So I just started making these videos. Okay, so creation of Bangladesh. So first of all, just see to this map. This is Pakistan. Okay, and this is currently Bangladesh. But if you see in this map, this is what was earlier our maps look like. Okay, so there was not a separate Bangladesh, but the Pakistan, this part which is now Bangladesh, was earlier East Pakistan, and both of these parts came under Pakistan. Okay, and if you look at earlier than that, so earlier the Bangladesh, the West Bengal and East Bengal were also united, but now it has been, separated, and the Hindu majority part was in West Bengal and the Muslim majority part was in East Bengal. So the West Bengal and East Bengal separated, and the part of East Bengal moved into this East Pakistan, and then it was East Pakistan and West Pakistan. Okay, it was West Pakistan and this one was East Pakistan. Okay, ये लिखा भी है यहाँ East Pakistan. Okay, but now currently this is Pakistan here, and this East Pakistan is now Bangladesh. It is now Bangladesh. Okay, so we'll talk about how this Bangladesh was created. Okay, so now let us talk about the creation of Bangladesh. Okay, how the Bangladesh is created. ठीक है, तो first of all in 1970, when East and West Pakistan was just Pakistan together, so in 1970 there were the elections that happened. Okay, elections happened, and East Pakistan and candidates from East and West Pakistan both participated. Okay, and East Pakistan won around 163 seats. Okay, and West Pakistan won 160 seats. So of course the clear majority is in 163. Okay, so in East Pakistan it was Sheikh, I'll write it here. East Pakistan is Sheikh 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 Mujbo MUJBO Rahman, and in West Pakistan it was Zulfikar Bhutto, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto था शायद, Zulfikar Bhutto. Okay, so he was from West, and from East Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was from Awami League. Okay, the party's name was Awami League, and Zulfikar's and Zulfikar Ali is from PPP, that is Pakistan's People's Party. Okay, so there were in total around 300 seats. Some seats were taken up by the other parties, smaller parties, but the major distribution was like this. Okay, so this is what happened, but what happened was that instead of instead of course Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was winning, but Zulfikar Bhutto was invited instead of him. He was invited, he was having lesser majority, but still he was invited. Okay, he was invited by earlier it was under the military rule, so he was invited to take up the position of Prime Minister of Pakistan. So there was a crackdown, a complete a civil war that happened between East and West Pakistan relating to this issue, because East Pakistan was not considered by the West Pakistan. Okay, they were not equal, they were not considered as equal by the West Pakistan. So there was a complete full-fledged civil war that happened. Okay, so civil war happened, and the Awami League, just give me a second. Okay, but Awami League, pen, and I would also need a color change. Okay, Awami League, they started a movement against West Pakistan's action that is known as मुक्ति बहिनी, Mukti Bahini movement was started by Awami League, okay, in Pakistan. on March 25, 1971. In 1970 elections happened. Then in March 25, 1971, the civil war has started, and or at least 2 to 3 million people, 2 to 3 million people were butchered. So you guys can see the loss. So it was a very a very bad kind of very lossful war, and many of the people were killed and butchered. Okay, and in around, so because of this war, there were many of the refugees who came to India. Okay, so there were many of the refugees. Okay, there were many of the refugees who started coming to India, especially through the northeastern parts like Assam and all. Okay, so refugees started coming to India, and there were like more than literally 10 million refugees came to India at that time. Okay, and then also the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was also assassinated, and the family was killed, but only his daughter, who was Sheikh Hasina. Her name is Sheikh Hasina. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's daughter, was the only one who was alive. Why? Because she was out of Bangladesh for some studies. So she, along with her another, a younger sister, both of them were the one who were alive. Otherwise, the whole family was killed. Okay, so then there is lots and lots of wars, lots and lots of separatist movements. Okay, and also, then Sheikh Hasina was given asylum by India during that was Indira Gandhi's time. So Sheikh Hasina was given asylum in India. Okay, and she was taken well care of by Indira Gandhi, and that's why we still have good relations with Bangladesh, because Sheikh Hasina was given so she was at the worst times, India was there with her. So still she acknowledges that, and we have good relations with Bangladesh. There are certain issues, most of them are solved, but there are still certain issues that we are going to talk about. But yeah, so asylum was given to Sheikh Hasina, okay, by India, and then also West Pakistan attacked India. Okay, West Pakistan attacked India when on December 3rd, 1971, there was an attack also. Okay, so war began when Pakistan attacked India on West. Okay, on West, and on around 16th December, so war started at 3rd December. Okay, then around 16th December the war ended, Okay, surrendered, Pakistan surrendered, and a treaty was signed. Okay, a treaty was signed, which is very, very important. So the name of the treaty was an agreement that is known as Shimla Agreement. Shimla Agreement was signed, which we held Bangladesh together, liberated. So this liberated East Pakistan and converted, and it is converted to Bangladesh since then. Okay, so we'll be discussing in depth about what all were the what all things were inside the Shimla Agreement. We are going to discuss that also, and we are going to discuss about the various issues related to Bangladesh and India. Okay, so this is how Bangladesh was created. Okay, and then after the liberation, Bangladesh implemented its constitution in around 1972. Constitution. Okay, and for strong parliamentary form of government. Parliamentary form of government. Okay, so they implemented that constitution. Okay, and there were 4 principles that were claimed by them. Four principles that were claimed by them. First, that their constitution promotes democracy. Okay, they work on democracy. Secondly, secularism. Third, socialism. And fourth, nationalism. Nationalism. Okay, so these were the basic 4 principles that they claim that they included in the constitution. Okay, so this was okay. Then this was all about 1972. Okay, but in 1974, there is a proclaimed state of emergency. Okay, which they changed the constitution. Emergency was there. They changed the constitution, and the power of legislative were reduced. Power of judiciary was also reduced, and of course then the power of executive would have increased. Okay, so this is what happened in 1974. Okay, and there was also a law. Of course, the party in power is going to be Awami League, because they are the one who led that. Okay, Achha, that assassination has not yet happened. Okay, that was something that I was telling you about, that it would happen. It would happen now. Okay, but we are in 1974, so the assassination of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman has not yet happened. Okay, so it is going to happen. Right now he is in power and Awami League is in power. Okay, so there was a law that was also passed for it was for the trial of prisoners of war of Pakistan. Okay, and there was a committee. There was an organization called as International Crimes Tribunal. There was a tribunal that was created, naming International Crimes Tribunal. Okay, so this created a kind of a discontent, okay, in the army, and this, okay, so in the army the general was also someone who was from West Pakistan. Okay, and when this law was passed, Then this has led to the military coup. After it created a discontent, this has led to a military coup in Bangladesh in around 1974. Okay, then in 1975, a military coup is there. In 1975, General Z.I. General Ziaur Rahman. He took over. He captured power in Bangladesh, and they created a party. Okay, they created a party that is known as the party that was known as BNP, Bangladesh National Party. Okay, that was created. Then in around 1981, General Ziaur Rahman, he was assassinated. He was assassinated. Okay, and then and by the time Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was also assassinated, and and this has led to another military coup, and the new general, who was General around 1975. Okay, when was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman killed? It was under the rule of General Ziaur Rahman when Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was killed. Okay, then another military coup happened in 1981. Okay, only Sheikh Hasina was left. Okay, then in 1981, General Ziaur Rahman was also assassinated, and another military coup happened, and the new power was there with General Irshad, ERSHAD. General Irshad was there in power, and but after that there were like lots and lots of protests. Okay, so he had to step down from the post. Okay, he had to step down from the post, and then there were two parties. Okay, one was Awami League, which was led by Sheikh Hasina. Awami League led by Sheikh Hasina. There was another party that was known as BNP, which I already told you, which was under the military rule. Okay, so there were two parties. Okay, and BNP was led by the General Ziaur, okay, which we talked about. His wife, okay, General Ziaur's wife, Begum Khalida. Okay, it was led by Begum Khalida, and Awami League was led by Sheikh Hasina. Okay, now, okay, this was in around 1998. Okay, now the scenario has been in 1991, BNP won. Okay, BNP won the elections. Elections happened. BNP won. In 1996, Awami League won. Okay, in 2001, again BNP won. Okay, then in 2006, election didn't happen till 2008. Okay, 2006 was the next year. Okay, so election didn't happen till 2008, and then finally in 2008, the election happened, and again Awami League won, and there was a massive victory from them. Massive victory for them. Okay, so then in 2013, again Awami League won, and then in 2018 also, Awami League has won, and their winning was somewhat, can be the question, there is a question to democracy, because of the fact that Begum Khalida was basically jailed during the time of election. So there was no other party. So of course they have to win. So it puts a question on democracy, but still Awami League has won massively, and till today, there is like no military coup till now. Okay, and Begum Khalida was jailed on the charges of corruption. Okay, she was jailed on the charges of corruption. Okay, so this is what is the history timeline till now. Okay, now let us talk about our topic of yeah. So let us talk about our topic of issues issues with of India with Bangladesh. Okay, so between India and Bangladesh, of course. So first of all, I will just give you a quick outline of all the issues, and then we are going to discuss all some of these issues in detail, which are important. So first is the border dispute. Okay, which is now resolved. Okay, secondly, there is an issue with water sharing issue. Okay, which is still a problem, not yet resolved. Third is the issue of the maritime border. That is the water borders. Okay, maritime border. The issue of maritime border is still there. Fourth, like very negligible. Okay, not much concern or any negative thing. Okay, then there is an issue of illegal migrants also. Okay, during the time of civil war, there were illegal migrants, as I already told you. So issue of illegal migrants is also there. Okay, then also trade issues are there with Bangladesh. Trade issues are also there. Then we would also be having certain connectivity issues of Bangladesh with Northeast. Connectivity issues. Okay. Seventh, then we have certain issues of illegal smuggling that happens. Okay, and the issues like cattle thefts are also there. Cattle thefts are also there. Okay, issues of cattle thefts are also there. Then also very important, China's presence in Bangladesh is also an issue. Again, China is improving its presence in Bangladesh, so China's presence in Bangladesh is also an issue. So we are going to talk about the important issues here, all the issues which have not been solved yet. We are going to be talking about them, and the most important issue currently is related to water sharing. Okay, so the issue currently which is very important is the water the issue of water sharing. Okay, water sharing issue. There are certain around 3-4 water sharing issues, and we are going to talk about all of them. This is the widest, most important issue. So the first water sharing issue that we will be talking right now is Ganga sharing. Okay, Ganga sharing. Okay, so first of all, there are around 54, just a background knowledge, around 54 rivers are there which are originating from India and going to Bangladesh. Okay, so like if the origin is from India and they are flowing down to Bangladesh, so Bangladesh is a lower riparian state. Okay, Bangladesh is known as lower riparian, REPARIAN, riparian state. Okay, so Bangladesh is a lower riparian state here because origination is from India and the rivers are flowing down to Bangladesh. Around 54 of them are originating. Okay, like from Hooghly, basically from Hooghly in India, in West Bengal, it goes to Chittagong, which is the Sundarbans region. Sundarbans, I'm going to tell you what all are Sundarbans. Okay, so see this. This is what Sundarbans look like. Okay, so this is the India and this is Bangladesh. Okay, and this is our territory. Okay, so Sundarbans are these tributary areas of the rivers. Okay, and all of these are tributaries, and they together, this green areas together, including India and Bangladesh together, they are called as Sundarbans. Okay, these are the rivers where the these are the tributaries of rivers. Okay, and they open into Bay of Bengal. So these are the tributaries of river. Okay, so that was the thing. So now, of course, Bangladesh is dependent on monsoon. Okay, Bangladesh is highly dependent on monsoon, and we cannot actually if the origins is from India, we cannot build dams. Okay, we cannot build dams. Why? Because what would happen is that if we build dams around Sundarbans, okay, then all of the things that the river carries, all of sand, silky, etc. If we build a dam here, okay, if we build a dam here, so what would happen is that it would get collected into the dam and it would restrict the natural flow of rivers would be restricted, so we cannot do it. Okay, hence the water sharing is required. Okay, water sharing is required. So first of all, we were discussing about the Ganga issue, so let us discuss about the Ganga issue first. Okay, so Ganga, okay, Ganga sharing. Okay, so Hooghly passes through Calcutta. We know Hooghly river passes through Calcutta. Okay, and there is a port which is known as Riverine Port, RIVERINE, Riverine Port. Okay, Riverine Port hai, which is a kind of a tidal port. Okay, where only during monsoons the water would get filled during the high tides time. So Ganga bring lots and lots of sand, silt and clay, okay, from Himalayas. Ganga is originating from Himalayas, bringing it sand, silt and clay to Hooghly, okay, and it would get deposited, okay, and the depth of this riverine port is reduced depth due to the deposition of sand, silt and clay. Okay, there is a reduction in depth, okay, which poses the problem for the ship movement. Okay, the ships that are there, it causes the problem for the movement of ships. Okay, so in order to remove this sand, silt and clay, there are two ways. First way is either a process known as dredging, DROGING, dredging. Okay, so this is a process which is highly expensive. Okay, cost of doing this is very high. Second is a less expensive process, which is to increase flow of water. If you increase the flow of water, so we can do that. Okay, so what India did is that India increased the flow of water. Okay, and we did, in order to increase the flow of water, what we did was that we constructed a canal. Okay, and this canal, before it enters Bangladesh, we constructed a canal, okay, which is known as Farak. This is very important. Farrak, Farak barrage. Farak barrage. Okay, so this is known as Farakka barrage. Okay, so this was the barrage that was created in order to do that, get away with the sand silting clay, to increase the flow. And but the thing is that the water, during the summer season, now Bangladesh objected on creation of this Farakka barrage. Why? Because during the summer season, what would happen, that the water from this canal is diverted into Hooghly, okay, and the rest of Ganga is dry, and there is drought-like conditions that were faced in Bangladesh. Okay, there are drought-like conditions, and also the water distributaries that I showed you. These water distributaries that are there, okay, these water distributaries which are all there, these water distributaries would also get reduced, and there is no water that would flow into sea. Okay, when they would get dried up, so there is no water to flow into the sea. So what would happen? If there is no water going into the sea, then it would cause the accumulation of salt would get accumulated when there is no flow of water into the ocean. Okay, so salt would get salt amount would increase, and the cultivable land which were around there, okay, cultivable land which was around there, their cultivable land would get reduced. Okay, so this was the issue, and this was all in the summer season. Then during the monsoon season also there is a big problem for Bangladesh. Okay, so during the monsoon season, what happens, I'm sorry for the writing, during the rainy season, okay, there we allow the free flow of water, of course. Okay, there is a free water flow and into Bangladesh, which results in the floods in Bangladesh. Okay, floods are caused. So this was what happens in monsoon. So Bangladesh is opposing this, okay, highly opposing this, and they said that Bangladesh's view was not considered, and this decision was taken unilaterally. Of course, we are building in India, but still it is somehow impacting Bangladesh, so Bangladesh was not very happy with it. Okay, so let me tell you one thing, that our earlier kind of what kind of concessions and agreements we did. Okay, so in around 1996, Gujarat Doctrine, related to, we already discussed about Gujarat Doctrine. Okay, if you guys have not seen that video, just watch my video named Gujarat Doctrine. It's a complete full session, in-depth analysis of Gujarat Doctrine. So under Gujarat Doctrine, there was a unilateral concession without accepting any reciprocity. This is the basic spirit of Gujarat Doctrine, okay, and it is for the smaller neighboring countries. So we negotiated with Bangladesh on this Ganga water sharing, this is a treaty, okay, Ganga water sharing treaty, and according to this treaty, we said that around 17,000 cubic, this is a unit of measurement, around 70,000 cubic would be for India, and around 36,000 cubic cubic would be for Bangladesh. Okay, not 36, 35. 35,000 cubic would be for Bangladesh, and whatever is remaining, whatever is the remaining one, whatever is remaining, that is going to be with India only. And during the lean period, LEAN, lean period is the time where there is less water. Okay, water is less H2O, less water is there. So during the time of lean period, which is around from 1st January to 31st May, okay, this is the time of lean period. It would be like around 50. Okay, so this was what was about okay, so that was the issue. And then this was all about the Ganga sharing, how we shared Ganga. Now the second issue that I would like to talk about is about the Teesta water sharing. Teesta is a river, another river, T-E-S-T-A, Teesta water sharing. Okay, so this is the next issue we are going to talk about. So basically Teesta origination is from Sikkim. Teesta originates from Sikkim, and then after 15 kilometers, after the flow of 15 kilometers, it enters into North Bengal, okay, and from North Bengal it flows around 123 kilometer into Bangladesh. Okay, into Bangladesh border area, basically. Okay, into Bangladesh border area it flows, and then this is the whole path, around 121 kilometers it flows. Okay, so this Teesta is basically 414 kilometer long river. Okay, so this is a 414 kilometer long river in total, and okay, so we constructed a barrage, okay, in North Bengal. There was a barrage construction by India in north of Bengal. Okay, and why construction of barrage here? Because during when the West Bengal, when we talk about, okay, so West Bengal is in the sub-Himalayan region. Okay, it is in the sub-Himalayan region, West Bengal, and it is basically in the Terai region, and there is marshy land and heavy rainfall, okay, and very less drought there. But when it goes into south, and when it goes towards the south, when we go towards Bangladesh, okay, like our south is North Bangladesh, okay, so when we go towards North Bangladesh, so the rainfall decreases drastically, and there is drought like condition there, like in the Rajshahi areas and all of Bangladesh, there is a drastic decrease in rainfall. Okay, so we constructed a barrage, okay, because there were lots and lots of rainfall there, and but Bangladesh opposed it. Bangladesh said that there is no agreement between both of us to create a barrage on the river that is being shared by us. So finally what happened was that there was a ad hoc, ADHOC, ad hoc. There was an ad hoc agreement in 1983, ad hoc agreement in 1983, okay, which said that 39% of the Teesta would be with India, okay, and the rest 25% was unallocated, allocated, okay. The rest 25% was unallocated, okay. So this was an agreement, okay. So as the word suggests, ad hoc means a kind of a temporary agreement was there, okay. In 2008, Sheikh Hasina, okay, she agreed for this agreement, and in around 2011, Bangladesh wanted that remaining 25% which was unallocated to be allocated, okay. And under Gujarat doctrine, they want the unallocated sharing of around 50-50%. They said that there should be a agreement, there should be a sharing of 50-50%, especially during the lean season when there is less water, okay, especially during the lean season. But we were about to sign it at that time, but you know, we were okay with signing it. But when we were about to sign in, the West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee, she opposed, okay, and she said that because the dam would be constructed there, so she said that there would be no dam construction, okay, and we couldn't sign the deal. Now we could not proceed, okay, and hence this Testa Water Treaty Agreement has not yet been signed, and it is still to be signed, okay. So it is, you can say that it is the biggest hurdle in India-Bangladesh relationship, okay. So now we have to study about the other dam, okay, which we are going to take up in the next video. I thought that we will be able to complete, but in next video surely in part 2 we'll be able to complete. So I would be stopping here right now, and I hope you guys understood the concepts well. Please go like and subscribe right now. I'm just asking you to subscribe me, that's all, okay. Just at least please help me with that, at least. So subscribe and like and share with your friends who need it, and thank you so much, and have a very nice day. Bye.